Hello and welcome to another episode of Gaming Reviews. This week I'm taking a look at a game called The Detective from the Crypt. So before I get started, I just want to say that I received a free review copy of the game from GamePress. So just want to thank our friends over at GamePress and the developers BOV Games. It's available on Steam, PlayStation Store, Xbox and the Switch, and it's currently priced around $7.99 to $8.99 depending on which platform you're looking at. So what is it? Detective from the Crypt is a 2D side-on point-and-click adventure / whodunit. You play as Jane Darkday, a ghost who awakens in a family crypt with no memory of her own death or that of her parents. This then sets the main game into motion as you set out to discover the truth about your death. To do this, you're going to meet a number of other ghostly figures like an eccentric inventor, a sorrowful widow, and so on. They will all have a task that they need fulfilling, and if you can help them out, then there are rewards that will help you fill in the truth or help you with the next task that you need. One of the ghostly figures you encounter needs a special mention, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but that is Pulcheria the cat. One of the early quests has you resurrect the ghost of this cat from the grounds of the manor. Once you do this, the cat will be a companion of yours, which you can call on at any point for clues. So it's like an on-hand interactive clue system. Sometimes the clue system may not be overly detailed or helpful, but it's there for you should you need to if you get totally stuck. So the art style, I want to call this out, say the art style is great. The game boasts a really rich hand-painted art style and really does evoke the feeling of otherworldly beings and of being in the Victorian period that the game is set in. The music and audio is good too, being mainly a particular melancholic style of tune and sound effects. It may have a repetitiveness after a while, but again, in games of this type, I think that can be fairly common. And again, I never found it to be too much of a problem. And whilst on the audio, something to call out is whilst there's a decent cast of characters, there's no voice acting. And again, in a graphic adventure of this type, I don't feel it's needed. And also, at the price point that we're talking of this game, at no more than £9, you probably expect that, but just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Now, the gameplay is a traditional point and click, so you're going to explore environments, collect items, solve puzzles, and work clues in your journal. Now, on the Xbox, the character, you control Jane with the left stick, so it's all fairly straightforward. The right stick moves an on-screen cursor. You interact with items and objects with the A button. You've got a hotspot detection button, so that's the LB, press LB, and all items that are interactable on the screen will be highlighted for you. And there's a number of other things. You've got the journal for tracking notes at the top of the screen, the inventory that you can go through, etc. The standard fare in kind of point and click games. So as mentioned, you'll be controlling Jane with the left stick, and as it's a 2D side-on game, you'll be walking between scenes in a linear manner. So towards the end of the game, there's a fast travel mechanic, which I'll come on to after, but yeah, walk off one side of the screen and you're in a different room or part of the environment. Each screen will be a different scene, however. So in the graveyard, you'll move around different gravestones or crypts. There'll be a river area. In the manor, you're going to be walking between different rooms, landings, and so on. You'll talk to the characters to gain your missions. These will generally be a fetch quest of a sort. So speak to character, get quest, find object, return it to the character, job done. The puzzles encountered aren't overly difficult or obtuse. Some puzzles may require a combination of items, and there's a section where you need to run chemicals on objects to identify what type of poison has been used. But again, fairly straightforward sequence that shouldn't be too problematic. As mentioned earlier, travel is linear between screens, but when you get towards the end of the game, there's a nifty room of mirrors, and throughout the environment, the grounds you've been exploring, there's some ghostly mirrors, and that mirror room ultimately serves as a quick travel selection screen. So you'll be in this room and you can put yourself at the far end of the graveyard or crypt, so you can travel between certain areas a lot quicker than you could at the start of the game. To help you out, there are a couple of systems. As mentioned, you've got Pulcheria the cat, but there's also a clever little system that helps you identify secrets in the environment you might have missed. Early on in the game, you pick up a ghostly candle, and when holding this candle and you're walking in an area, the flame will change colour if there's a secret there that's not been discovered. So this is your indicator to dig around a little bit more in that location. The game isn't particularly long. It took me around 3 hours or so to complete. Mileage, of course, will vary depending on how you fare with the puzzles, how quickly you move through the screen. So are you blitzing through to complete the quest, or are you taking time to take in all the details and the background graphics? Another factor to length of the game will be the endings. So something quite good for a game like this, there are 5 endings in total to see. My playthrough, I saw just the one, but I'm definitely going to be going back at some point to complete the collection to see what other fates can occur. I won't spoil anything, but there are, I believe, 4 bad endings, or what are known as bad endings, and 1 good ending. So it's for you to try identify them all. If I had to highlight any points of criticism, I would say the length of the game could disappoint some. But again, what I would say is bear in mind the price point of the game and factor that in with whether you think potentially 3-4 hours is too short for you. The control system on the Xbox was fine, generally fine. Sometimes it was I had a little bit of a clunky time where I was selecting the wrong item or option. But again, you know, it's not, for the majority of the game, it's not going to cause too many problems, but just wanted to highlight my experience. And as mentioned, the game can be fairly straightforward, which may not be everyone's cup of tea. So whether you like the really deep, complicated puzzles, they may not be in there for you. But overall, is it for you? Well, if you enjoy a puzzle and point and click adventures, I think you'll find something here for you, especially if you like them spooky. As mentioned, the graphics are great, really colourful, and the gameplay is straightforward, so it is fairly pick up and play. Combine the spooky graphics with the melancholic audio, and it does give you that spooky atmosphere, along with the story point of a character trying to find out what happened to her. Whether you think the length of the game or the lack of complex puzzles is a problem is for you to decide, but overall I found the game had a charm, which meant I wanted to keep seeing what the next section was going to bring. So that's the end of the review. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do make sure you subscribe to our channel for more episodes of gaming reviews.